Hi friends, in this video let's talk about TCS SQL interview questions. In the recent days, one of my friend attended the interview with TCS. Below are the list of questions asked by the panel. If you go to the questions, these are the list of questions which is asked by the panel. So here there are some basic questions as well as there are some experienced questions we have. But please keep in mind you need to answer each and every question in a clear manner. The first question, if you see here, how do you rate yourself in the SQL server on the scale of 1 to 5? 1 is least here and the 5 is best. Based on your confidence level, you need to answer this question. Again, this question is going to determine your capability on the SQL experience or SQL knowledge. So if you are confident on this particular SQL server, then better go with a 5. If you answer it with a 3 or 4, it means that you are above average. Even that is also a good answer, 3 or 4. But if you answer either 1 or 2, that time the panel may think of either to go with a technical round or not, because the people assume, the panel is going to assume if the person is good, then only you want to take into the interview or take it forward. Otherwise, so it does not make any sense even to both of you people. So while answering here the scale of 5, please be careful and based on your confidence level, let's try to answer more than 3, 3, 4, 5. So if you are not confident on 3, 4, 5, better to prepare up to that particular level and attend the interview. Otherwise, you will be losing the chance. Next, what is the difference between truncate and delete? Second question is, what is the difference between truncate and delete? This is a basic question, but it is important question. The people, whenever we start the SQL server tool, so the people might be knowing this point. What is the truncate and delete? Truncate is the one which we deletes the entire data from a table in a single shot. So there is no rules we can apply while truncating the data from a particular table, and there is no commit rollback concept in the truncate scenarios. But when we go to the delete, you can delete all the table data in one shot, or you can delete the row by row in based on the conditions. And again, commit and rollback concept applied to the delete. Next question, what are joins and importance in the SQL server? Again, this is also a basic concept and it is a very really important one. Joins are the one which will help us to combine the two tables data based on certain conditions. The tables can be different, like if you're talking about employee department or student master or something like that. So based on the common columns, we'll join between the tables, and like we'll pull the required columns. So if there are no joins in the SQL server, then the concept may be different, and there is very tricky to get the data from multiple tables. The importance here is which will help us to combine the tables based on the conditions, based on the columns. So based on the conditions, so you can select the list of columns which you require. There are different type of joins: inner join, self join, outer joins. In the outer join, you have a right outer join, left outer join, full outer join, and the next one, last one, is Cartesian joins. So if you need in detail information about the joins, so you can check in my videos collection. We have a detailed videos on each and every type of joins with examples. Next one, what is the difference between join and union? So this is again a basic question, but it is important. So join also will help us to club the data, and union also will help us to club the data. But what is the major difference? We need to see that. Next, how to find the second highest salary from the employee table? So this is also again one of the important interview question. Second highest salary, you can get this with the help of the CTEs, or you can go with the help of the subqueries. Yeah, The detailed explanation is available in my video collection with CTE as well as with subqueries. Please go with that. Next, what is the difference between procedure and a function? Procedure and a function. Procedure is a block of statements. Function is also a block of statements. Procedure is a pre-compiled code, but function is not. Procedure can have in and out parameters, but function is going to contain only in parameters. Can we use out parameter in function? We cannot. We cannot put specially out parameter, but compulsory it is going to return a value. How to optimize the SQL queries? There are many ways to optimize the SQL queries. It is not a single way. It purely depends on the query. So, for example, if you are using unwanted joins, let's reduce that. So, if you are pulling unwanted columns, let's reduce that. And there are some scenarios where you can use CTE than temporary tables. There are many ways to optimize it. So there is a one more a detailed video in my collection how to improve the performance of the SQL queries. You can go with that. And next one, what is the difference between varchar and nvarchar? It is a data type related question, but yes, you need to answer. Nvarchar is a multilingual, varchar is a single language related stuff. There are many other differences, you can go with it. Next, have you used triggers by any chance? Yes, there are some places where the people might need to use the triggers. So it's a kind of very major scenarios or when we are doing some audit on a particular table, the people used to do that. So there is a table, employee table. I want to capture each and every transaction on the employee table. So whenever they change a employee name, whenever they change a date of birth, whenever they change any field in the employee table, I want to capture the old value as well, the new value as well. So that it's a very helpful for me while doing the audit. So that is the reason why the people used to go with triggers. So there are other ways also, but you need to go with it. But the triggers are the one which will help us to do that. There are different ways of triggers instead of triggers after triggers. Next. How many indexes can be created in a table? You can create many indexes like a clustered index and non-clustered index. So based on your need. So if you want to go with a clustered index, yes, you can create only one clustered index on the top of a table, but number of many non-clustered index you can create on the top of a table. Non-clustered index can be created on the numerical data types and as well as a varchar or string data types. When you go to the clustered index, so if you create a clustered index in a table, it means that the data is going to store physically based on that means again. See, if you have a primary key on the top of a table, it acts as a clustered index. Next. So what are the constraints in the SQL server? There are many constraints in the SQL server like a unique, not null, primary, check, default. So each and every constraint having their own uniqueness. So not null is meant for different purpose and unique is meant for some purpose. Primary key is meant for purpose and the check constraint and default constraint and foreign key primary key constraints. Each and every constraints having their own uniqueness. So you need to go with each and everything. So based on their purposes. Next one. So what is the difference between unique and not null constraint? So unique is for unique, not null is for the, it does not allow nulls in a particular column. Even it does not allow a single null if you keep it as a not null constraint. But if you keep that column as a unique, it is going to allow one null at least because it's a unique. It is not a not null. That is a major difference between unique and not null. Next one. How to get the current user ID in the SQL server? It means that so we used to log in with a particular user ID. So if you want to identify that user ID, yeah, there are some system defined functions which will help you to identify the current user ID in the SQL server. So there are user underscore ID, user sys user. There are many other functions out there which is providing by the SQL server. So those you can with the help of those you can identify the current user ID in the SQL query window. Next, Have you used a SQL profiler? Yes, for the SQL developers, this profiler is one of the important GUI, graphical user interface, which will help us to identify the what are all the queries which are running on the current SQL server instance. So there might be some unwanted queries might be running or unused queries might be running. You can easily track it based on the SQL profiler on a particular, like you can track it based on the user id, you can track based on the database, you can track based on the particular text. So there are many ways you can use for the SQL profiler. This is one of the important tool for all the SQL developers who are going to write the queries, who are going to execute the queries. So SQL profiler is the GUI, graphical user interface, which is provided by the Microsoft for SQL developers. It's a very good one. So if you wanted detailed information on the top of the SQL profiler, so let's check for a video in my video collection. What is the execution plan in the SQL server? This is also one of the important tool or important facility provided by the Microsoft, which will help you to observe the execution plan of a single query. Let us see, there is a query which are of having select star from employee where employee id equal to 10. So once you run the query and if you enable the execution plan, so if you see the execution plan, where exactly my query is getting lagged, so where exactly my query is taking long time, I can easily identify. So if there are any missing indexes, it is going to propose for us. So based on the missing indexes, if I create it, my queries will run faster and faster. So this is the purpose of execution plan. That is one of the important execution plan facility in the Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio. So these are the list of questions which is faced by my friend. So these questions may vary person to person, because again these questions depends on the panel's interview during that panel's time during the interview time. Thank you for watching. So if you have any questions, if you have any serious like complex questions with you, please comment in the comment box, so I will try to answer. Not only questions, if you have any complex scenario in msbi, ssis, ssrs, ssas, you can comment in the comment box, I'll try to answer those questions. Thank you for watching. Please keep subscribe and please like our videos. Thank you.